It is happening. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday is my YouTube day, so filming content today. Spent the morning. Nina ran out to do some errands, and I joined her and filmed videos in the car, walking around parking lots. It was super fun. We just came back. This is my little break to chat with you guys, try to bring some value to entrepreneurs, and then more YouTube stats and analytics for me in the afternoon. I see Al here in the chat. Let's bring him. See how we can bring some value. Zan says, let's go. That's what's up, Zan. Hey, there he is. Al, how you doing, man?
Hey, good. Man, good to see you, man.
I love the green screen. Is that so you can
Thanks.
make videos?
Yeah, I can make videos and then do a podcast here. But I'm trying to make a big drop with my podcast brand though. So it's still making. So I just use this first.
I love it. So Al's
Thanks.
part of my Move for Makers program. And as part of that, we're doing
Yeah. I
IG
love
Live
that.
together. You love it?
Yeah, I love it. I love the community. I love the way you do it, and I really appreciate it.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So what do you got? How can I help?
Okay. Yeah, I want to pick up your brain a little bit.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. So basically, I know you were sold your software company and then to become a really successful venture capitalist.
Mhm.
Like how did you transfer from there to where you are right now, and what did you learn from that?
From venture capital to this?
Yeah.
So listen, it's okay. So when I sold my company,
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I went from every day working on my business, having no friends, having no life, just like all day long. And then we sold it. And then I had two business partners. They went to California with the company, and I stayed here, and I had nothing to do. I woke up the next day like, oh, what do I do now? It was this whirlwind of, oh my God, so great, we sold the business, and then like, oh, I don't know what to do. So I said yes to a whole bunch of things, just exploring, just trying things. And one of them was, there was a guy who was part of a venture capital firm, and I never had to raise money for my company. So I was always curious about it. And so he said, hey, why don't you come join us? I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And it was really just saying yes to things that interested me. So I was there for almost 2 years. And just learning. These guys they were in their 60s or 70s. They all had so much experience. And I was, at that point, only knew one business, mine. And so when you're in venture capital, you get to meet all sorts of different entrepreneurs and all kinds of businesses. And so I learned a lot about how to run a company from them and the advice they're giving people. And then started using my website as a way to bring in business for the venture capital company. And then I fell in love with just doing the website and getting content and building articles. And then I discovered video and started doing my YouTube channel. So it was just, honestly, it was just saying yes. Like I was lost. I didn't know what to do next. I had some money, which is great, but I didn't want to just sit on a beach for the rest of my life. But I didn't know what the next thing was for me. So I said yes. Most things that I tried didn't go anywhere until I found the one that I wanted to come back to and keep doing.
When did you discover that?
So after I sold my company, I don't know the timelines. It was maybe 3 to 6 months before I got into the venture capital business. And I was just saying, again, yes to everybody. And this one guy said, hey, you should join us. So I was, yes, yes to everything. It's like, if you said, hey, Evan, you should come play badminton with me. Yes, like anything. And so I was just saying yes everywhere until I think, oh man, I like these guys. Like I think I could learn a lot from these guys, and I had nothing better to do. I had no life plan kind of mapped out, and I really enjoyed them. And they were willing to teach and mentor and guide, and they saw in me, I was 22, 23 at that point. So they saw in me somebody who who was eager to learn, and they wanted to mentor and coach. Like, okay, great. Let's teach them. But as I got into it, I realized I didn't want to be a venture capitalist. Again, you don't know until you try.
Yeah.
So I tried. I knew that it was a good little window for me, but it wasn't ultimately what I wanted to do. But it wasn't until I said yes that I figured that out.
You're so power. Like your story is so inspiring, Evan. Yeah. So the other thing is I'm really curious is what's the mistakes that you have learned from that's give me the three top biggest mistakes that you made in your career life.
I mean, the biggest one was being, well, the biggest one is probably not believing in myself enough, right? I mean,
Okay.
and it's still the biggest mistake to say, like, I was making a video today for my YouTube channel and realizing, you know, I started 12 years ago, and if you had told me 12 years ago that I'd be sitting here and having
Yeah.
3 million subscribers and whatever. It's like, no way. Like that guy, I'm too introverted, too shy. Only people with big egos are making videos. You know, I don't want to be famous. All of that. There's no way I would believe that this is possible. And yet I've done it. So what else could I have done? You know, where else can I go? And I just don't believe that it's possible to do the next thing. So that's always the biggest problem, is just lack of belief. Um, when I was how old was I have a hard time looking back. When I was 21, I lost a $40 million deal because I was being perfect. So that was another one. It's like trying to be perfect, not being willing to let something out, let something go. Like for you, even how we started this and I commented on your green screen, I used to be the guy who would say, oh, I can't do it until I have my podcast
Oh,
background done, right? Like I had to be perfect before I would do anything.
okay.
And I ended up losing the $40 million deal because I was trying to be perfect. And so ever since then, it was a harsh lesson, you know, say, okay, just Carmichael, just go, just create it. It's not perfect, go, you know, keep building. Um, and a third one, I don't know. Those are probably the two biggest ones. I don't know if there's a third one that stands out yet, at least to me.
That's a beliefs comes up,
Yeah, I mean that's
is it?
where like belief came later.
Okay.
It was always inside me, but I didn't know that it was inside me. And so, you know, I'm trying to make the path easier for other people. And I think
Yeah.
as you discover things, you want to make the path easier for other people, so it doesn't take them a decade to figure it out as well, right? If I had believe when I was 22, I would have made different decisions and would have gone faster. But anyway, grateful that I found it and use it going forward.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, so Evan, you've been from, you say the introvert, right?
Mhm.
You were, yeah. And
I
then,
still am.
oh, okay. And right now you're like such a really good speaker, interviewers, and but it's like, how, what skills you learn? Like, how did you train yourself?
So I like you guys asking some good questions. It's good. I would split that up between interviewing and speaking. I think it's two different skill sets. I think if you're speaking, the the first part was just getting out of my head that I'm not extroverted, so I won't be a good speaker. Like I used to believe that because I saw speakers and they looked like they've got it all figured out. Like, well, I'm not like that person, so I
Yeah,
won't be a good speaker. That took me a long time to unravel. There's actually a lot of great speakers who are introverts. You just don't hear about it. And so it feels like it's impossible. Um, the next was recognizing that speaking is really just coaching 1,000 people at a time. So if you've got 1,000 people in the audience or 50 people in the audience, those are 50 humans that you're talking to. And so if you can make it on an individual level to say, hey, my goal is to help move some of these people, as opposed to, I used to think speakers were, you had to have a big ego and want to be
yeah,
famous and all this kind of stuff. It's like, who am I to have a speech? You know, I just didn't feel like it mattered. But it's not about me. It's about the audience, and it's not just about speaking in front of 1,000 people. It's about helping them make a shift. So every time I moved it from look at me to them, it's about the audience. It's about the people watching. It's about trying to help them make a shift. That got me a lot more excited, because if you position things with me as this is going to make you famous, like, okay, I don't care. But if you position as this is going to have an impact, then I care a lot more. So I had to constantly remind myself that, hey, this is for the people out there in the audience. For interviewing, I think introverts actually have a really big advantage in interviewing, because introverts are really good listeners. And so the goal of an interview is to pull out great stories from people. And I think a lot of extroverts have a hard time with it because they're just so busy talking, where as an introvert, you're listening carefully what they're saying, the two ears, one mouth. And so you're trying to get the story out to help get it to the audience. So I think just for that, it's just leaning in on my curiosity. I always get stressed out before an interview. I don't know how nervous you were before this.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
I do a lot of homework for this, and
I get super.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. So sorry, go ahead.
No, I get super nervous before every interview. I'm worried I'm going to let them down. I'm worried that I'm going to ask a bad question. But I ended up just trusting that if I find one thing that I find curious about them, that's what I'm going to pull on. So I just researched them because I would spend days researching somebody, and it ended up being not productive because I just lived in anxiety and worry and fear for this one 25-minute interview or whatever was going to pop up. So to help myself and to train myself, I said, okay, I'm just going to research them enough to find one thing that I'm genuinely curious about. And then that's what I'll just trust that my curiosity will take over after I find that one thread.
This is so helpful. Do you know, like, Evan, later I'm going to interview Jeffrey Hazlitt.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was like so nervous because like back to back, you and him, like for me, I'm so nervous before all of this for today. And then what you just picture out, like I can just pick one thing I'm really curious. That's a big takeaway for me today. And there's one things I read for YouTube channel. I have my YouTube channels. I was former Taiwan badminton national athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then right now my YouTube channel is all about badminton. And right now we do have the podcast, and I want to share some like motivation speak, those kind of stuff. What's your suggest for me? Do I need to split them to two different channels, or what would you do?
How much is badminton a part of your current and ongoing life?
Badminton, right now, I would say half. Before was like
Everything.
Everything. But right now, I have the business and media, start to do the marketing,
Mm-hmm.
help the business as well. So I learned the podcast interview. I want to be the speakers.
So what's your goal with the podcast, with every interview you do? What's the message that you want people to hear? What's the goal?
Okay. So my podcast is all about millennials because I'm a millennials. And I came from the middle class family. My dad passed away 5 years ago, and I learned so much from the financial struggling and the mindset and successful. And I need to build up the network, surround myself into the right people. So I want to share this message through my interview. My guests share their experience to all the millennials about this. And this is a mistake I didn't know it before. Yeah.
Okay, so it's important to split who the audience is, which might be millennials, from what the message is. So if the message is how to have a success mindset, then is that the right message? That's what you want to try to get?
Yes, yes, correct.
Perfect. So in every interview and every video and every podcast you do, it's about trying to get the success mindset out. And then the audience is going to be millennials.
Okay.
So now when you think about your badminton channel, what you have to decide is the badminton channel going to be about how to teach badminton, and I don't know all the terms in badminton, and I'm not a very good badminton player, but how to serve and how to do whatever, like techniques.
Yeah, it's all about technique.
Right. Versus how to have a success mindset in badminton. So, if you know the top 10 series on my YouTube channels, the first top 10 we did that was not an entrepreneur was Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And a lot of people were asking Michael Jordan and said, well, but he's a basketball player. So, I'm not going to put videos on how to dunk or how to do a free throw or how to dribble or, it just not going to fit the channel. But what I realized in watching some of the interviews were there was a lot we could actually pull from in terms of success and mindset and dedication and hard work and teamwork and leadership, all of those things that were really helpful. So you can teach, if your goal is to teach success mindset, you can teach that through badminton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure people looked at your training schedule
Yeah.
and looked at all the dedication and the practice and the homework and all of that. That could inspire me to go harder in my life, in my business, even if I care zero about badminton.
Yeah.
But it shifts the direction of the channel. So if you want to keep your badminton channel as a how-to badminton, then your success mindset is a different channel.
Yeah.
Because the people going there, they care about how to do whatever in badminton. If you want to shift your badminton channel to be about success mindset, it shifts the kind of content that you make inside badminton, then it could be the same channel.
Okay.
So it's up to you. Do you want to only talk about success mindset? And then you can do that through badminton. You can do that through interviews. You can do it through your podcast. You can do that through direct to camera. Or say, no, I want to just keep making how-to badminton videos on this channel. Then the other one is a separate one.
Okay. So if I still want to keep build up the how-to videos for my badminton, then the mindset and success, finance and business, there will be a different channel.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then I probably done with that. That'll be awesome. And then there's one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. As long as it's still something that you care about, right? Like you still want to make badminton videos.
Yeah. That's
cool.
That's my passion though.
Cool.
Yeah. I've been so Evan. There's one thing because I currently publish this book.
Oh, cool. What? It's backwards. What does it say? Magic?
Yeah, Mirror of Magical.
Mirror of Magical. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I combine with a sports that I like, and the message I want to send it out with a fantasy story.
Okay.
Together. And right now, one thing is this is published by the publisher.
Okay.
And like what do you recommend to, exposure for my book? Is
it also a millennial audience?
I would say for kids, it's more like Harry Potter series.
Okay.
Like I'm reader. Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is find people who care about reaching the kids market and go and do interviews on their channels. So YouTube channels, honestly, you're kind of like even TikTok, Snap,
okay,
getting on with the influencers there who target that audience and talking about the book, getting your book into the hands of those people for them to share it. YouTube is still good too. But like Instagram, I probably wouldn't do as much because they don't care as much about Instagram. So think about where your demographics are. Publisher unfortunately doesn't do a lot to promote the book.
Yeah.
So I'd be looking at where are those kids hanging out. If you're doing Instagram, be more the parents of the kids. Like, what's the message of the book?
It's a message of how to conquer the evil to be the best version of yourself.
Great. So, Instagram is the parents. You're talking to the parents and say, hey, if you have an 8-year-old kid, here's what they need to hear.
Yeah.
And then TikTok, Snap, YouTube is targeting the kids. Okay. So it's not even so much you making content, which you can, but it's more you being on the shows of the people who are making the content.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're like tactical. You build a list of the 500 people who talk about books and target this demo, and then you reach out to them every 2 weeks, trying to arrange an interview.
Okay, that'd be awesome. So for the interview, even the podcast, and then I know, Evan, you've been interviewed so many influencer people. What's the tips that you pitch them? Go to them.
To pitch them?
Yeah.
Like to get the interview?
Yeah.
Okay, so one is really understanding their audience.
Okay.
So doing a little bit of research on who this person is and what their audience is.
Yeah.
Showing that they've done it before, so that if they've never done an interview before, it's a lot harder to convince them to do an interview than somebody who has a regular interview show and they're looking for people to come on.
Yeah.
Saying something nice about them that you actually believe. Because when I get the standard spam emails like, dear influencer, like, oh my God, it's like, they didn't even, you know, like
Really?
goodbye, delete, right? You know, dear sir or madam, you know, it's like they spent no time and it's just a copy paste. So do you have, you know, like, what do you actually like about this person?
Yeah.
Something that they've said, something specific that you just like about them, so that they know that you actually cared about their community. I would pay attention to where they're hanging out.
Okay.
So, you know, for example, I go live on YouTube on my gaming channel 4 days a week. That's probably the easiest place to get me. If you have a question, that's probably the easiest place to hang out and get me. And I've started businesses with some of the people who've just joined randomly on the chat. So where are they hanging out, and where can you spend time with them so they actually get to know who you are? And then once you've done one, you ask them if there's anybody else that you think they should, you should be on. Like, hey, is there anybody else who does this that you think would be a good fit for my story and my book?
Yeah.
And then get referrals in to be on their shows.
Okay, that'd be great. Evan, I've one question for you. Like, what do you see and what's your goal for Movement Maker? Because I'm right now I'm in the community. So what's your goal to build up this huge community?
So, you know, I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem. People don't believe in themselves enough. Okay. And I can only do, you know, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing my videos and I'm doing all my content and everything. What I would love to do is help train other people so that they could do it too. You know, if you're off spreading your message of success mindset and you're hitting millennials and you're hitting kids with the books, the way you say it and the way you do it is going to be able to reach an audience that I won't be able to reach. They'll learn from your story. Even the fact that you played badminton, you'll have people who look up to you and say, oh, like, he did that. I love badminton, so I'm going to learn from Al. Where they may not want to learn from an Evan Carmichael because we don't have that connection of badminton, because I suck at badminton.
We can try it out sometimes.
Oh man, you gotta. I'm sure you'll destroy me very quickly. It'd be great.
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver. You're in Toronto. It's not far.
Oh, it's not that far. There you go.
Yeah, it's not far.
So my goal with Movement Makers is to train other people to do what I do, to be able to get your message out there, because that ends up, you know, me helping you get your goal. It also helps me get my goal, because you're also helping people believe in themselves more. And whether it's you or Tariq in the house, or Angela in the house, or Zan in the house, or everybody who's in the house, you know, I look at Tariq and he's doing it through all this. Every time you go to his IG, there's some fun vibe music. Like, he's always dancing and he's just a lot more fun than I am. And so he's going to be able to reach people that I won't be able to reach. And so that's my goal. The more I can train people to build their movements up. And I know you're pretty new to Movement Makers, but you know, there's one part that's just the strategy and the tactics of like, okay, here's what you need to do. 1, 2, 3, go start doing this. And then the other part is just having a community, having a family, having people to encourage you and support you and believe in you, so you're not the only one. Like, when you feel like you're not the only one doing this, and you have people most people don't have anybody in their life to actually help them do things, and now you're instantly plugged into a family of people who help you. I think it gives you the extra strength, motivation, encouragement, inspiration to go do the thing. So yeah, that's the goal of Movement Makers.
Okay, then let's do it. I'm done. Yeah. So you do have the Built to Serve this book. What drives you to write this book? And then if one thing I can do for all the community, what would you say?
I mean, the mission behind everything I'm creating is to try to find another way to help people believe in themselves more.
Okay.
Whether it's Built to Serve, Movement Makers, my YouTube channel, this Instagram Live, like, why? Yes, it's to help you, and hopefully maybe one person who watches this gets inspired to then go write their book or make their video or create their podcast, because they learned from your courage and strength and just willingness to get started, right? I think the best thing you can do is just do it. Keep going. Like, lean into the uncomfortable. Go do more interviews. Go make more videos, more podcasts. Because the goal every time is to just shift one person. If one person watching this now decides that they're gonna finally take the step to do the thing that they didn't think they could do, that's it. That's the goal. Like if one person reads your book and that shifts them or shifts their kids to starting to believe in themselves more, that becomes the goal. So the best thing you can do is just go do it. You know, like if you've trained people in badminton and you've given them a lesson, the best gift they can ever give you is to go and practice what you taught them, right? The best gift isn't to buy you a new badminton racket or a birdie or something. It's to, they're called birdies, right? Yeah, birdies.
Yeah, birdie.
The best gift isn't to buy your stuff. It's to, hey, I just taught you something. Go use it.
Yeah.
The best feeling is for them to come back in 2 weeks and say, Al, I look, my backhand's getting better because I've been practicing every day. So the best gift you can ever give me or any mentor is to go use it, to go build it, to even the simple tactic of find one thing that you want to be curious about in the interviews and pull on that thread. The greatest gift you can give me is to say, I did that with Jeff, and then I did that with whoever else, and it's working, right? And now I'm ready for the next thing. Like that's, I think, the biggest gift you can ever give any mentor who's helping you.
That's awesome. Like Evan, I just appreciate all you do because do you know how I started finding you? Like because the biggest impact is I find you the first place is in YouTube, like on YouTube, and then I watch your videos. But during that period, my dad passed away. I was so like kind of totally lost. But all the motivation that your story and combined with those influencers on your channel that inspire me, that just keep moving me forward. And then right now you have Movement Maker. For me, it's really new, but I'll do what I can do. I'll do my best.
And I think, I mean, thank you for sharing your story. And I think that's really important because I didn't know your story. You know, before this, I didn't know your dad passed away. I didn't know that my videos helped you through that time. And what we default to assuming that nobody's paying attention and that nobody cares and that only 20 people saw your video. We default to thinking that it's not having an impact, where that happened 5 years ago, you know, and you're only now telling me that this had a big impact on your life, right? For a lot of people in that 5-year window, they then just quit because they assume nobody's paying attention or nobody cares, where just default to assuming that somebody actually cares, that one of those 25 people maybe is going through a really, really hard time right now, and your video is the thing that's helping them stay with it, even if they never tell you, even if it's 5 years later that they're going to come on your Instagram Live and say what an impact it had, right? To default to thinking that what I'm making is actually touching somebody's life, because I think that's what keeps the motivation going. And to everybody else who's watching, all you lurkers, especially for small creators, man, if somebody's had an impact on you, let them know. Because I remember every comment I got in the early days, man, that made such a difference. Like, oh, it's like it's having an impact. So if there's any small creator out there, the big creators, it doesn't matter as much. Like I'm spoiled now with the number of comments and questions, and it's overwhelming. But at the beginning, when you're not getting any comments or feedback, and somebody leaves you a nice note, you know how good that feels. And so I challenge everybody to think about a small creator who you are following, who maybe is having an impact on you, and just today dropping some love and letting them know that, hey, your message really means something to me. Thank you. Because that might be the difference between them quitting today and continuing on.
For your Build to Serve, you know, that book, that day I remember 2000, I think it's like 19, or I remember when I listened your book, and then there's one thing, it's about purpose. You talk about purpose. Yeah, that drives me, you know, because badminton in North America is not a big sport, and in the school system is not a lot of badminton about that. So one message, it drives me. I knock out all the school by schools, and I just say, hey, give me an opportunity. Let me show you what the sports looks like. And then I'm going to teach from kindergarten to grade 7 for free, because I just want you to know and let the kids have the opportunity to learn the new sports.
Mhm.
And this is what I'm good at. But the message, it drives me to take this action. It's totally, I just really appreciate that your message impacted me. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Thanks, Sam.
Well, thanks for the
Thanks, man.
time. Everybody go follow Al. He's up to some great things. Stay
Let's
tuned for
go.
some. Let's go. Go follow him. Appreciate you, man. And I'll see you in Movie Makers.
Yeah. See you.
All
See
right.
you,
Much
Evan.
love. Take care.
Take care.